not words. You ever try to read and someone's talking, right? They go blah, 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 and they got the words on the screen, and you're like, I can't listen and read at the same time if you're saying two different things. So no words on the PowerPoint slides, just pictures. Okay, just pictures. If you must do a video, make it very short and make sure the link is still there. That happens too, right? If no video, whatever, it's a whole nightmare. So be careful. They can be really good depending on your topic. Not every topic needs a PowerPoint, right? Some do. That one, self-esteem versus narcissism, probably not. But maybe if I were doing, I'm just looking around, I don't know, I like to look around the screen sometimes. If I were doing, I wouldn't do one on that either, on the self-attributions. But if I were doing the one about the Independence Trail in Providence, I might have a few pictures of the buildings you'd see along the way. Or maybe the little map, there's a map of it, I might do that. You know, just to have it behind me. But that's as far as I go. Everything I say doesn't have to have a slide. Somebody once did, oh, if you're doing, is anyone here interested in the medical field? Anyone want to be a nurse or radiographer? Okay. So if you're talking about something medical, maybe there's a reason to have, like if you're talking about, I don't know, how stents work or something, and a heart, you might have the heart up there and show the left and the right ventricle and that kind of stuff. Nothing too graphic. You don't want to gross out your audience because we're not all medical students, right? So you don't want anything that's disturbing up there either. You gotta think about your audience.
So this first slide, you wouldn't want bullets on the slide, or not like words bullets.
Well, what would they be for then?
So like you said, like repetitive or something like that. You said for the heart.
Okay. Well, because I was looking at that red thing next to you, it just reminded me of our heart.
So like, you had a slide like, I don't know, like just like, you know how you have like a notepad or something.
You know, no, not the words. You could have a, honestly, if it were me, see, you've got me thinking. When people say top, like, oh, how would I do that? And I would have like that whole Valentine's fake heart stuff up there just to get the audience's attention. Because if we see the heart-shaped heart,
looks weird.
So like the medical heart, the real heart. Like, how do you get to look like that? In my mind, I was like, I guess sort of if you tip it a little, but not so much. But then they know right away it's about the heart. And then I would read my notes, the bulleted thing that I had, but I wouldn't have it up there. Let me back up 1 second. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm so rude. Anyway, my degrees are in literature, and I read all the time. I love to read. I read constantly. I hate to read slides. I won't read them. It's absolutely nothing. But once that PowerPoint goes on, my brain just logs right over. Put a book in front of me, give me a magazine, give me a newspaper, give me an essay, I'm fine. PowerPoints? Come on, it's like reading off the screen when you do in DL classes. How does that go? I wouldn't do it. If I allow PowerPoints in my DL classes, they must have audio. Because I don't want to read them. So yeah, be careful with them. If you don't have to have a PowerPoint. I'm just saying, if your topic lends itself to that for some reason, you know, like a heading is fine. That's it. How many of you, when you do such things, go to Google Images? I use Google Images all the time. How do I know, though, as an audience member, if it's from Google or if you took that photo? Like, let's stick to the one about the Independence Trail. How do you know if I went and took the picture if it's on Google?
Citation.
That's right. You have to cite it. What is that all about? Who knows about citation? I have a handout. Oh, handouts instead of PowerPoints can be useful too, by the way. If you want me to read it, give me a handout. Don't put it on the PowerPoint.
It's crediting the creator or author.
Why do you have to do that?
To plagiarize. Yeah.
What's wrong with plagiarism? Like, what is plagiarism? Fun fact, I'm on the student conduct committee. I'm the faculty rep, so if somebody plagiarizes, they get turned in. I get to judge, me and the dean and a few other people get to judge what happens. So it is a serious thing. It comes to this committee, we can expel you, not that we would, but we could. Why?
If you utilize someone else's works or efforts and claim it as your own.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, it's theft.
It is. It's lying, cheating, and stealing. You're lying, saying, oh yeah, that's mine. No, you're cheating, because that's not fair. Other people are doing their real work. And of course, you're stealing somebody's stuff. All of these things are bad things. There's no reason to do that. Do we expect you to do some research and use other people's things? Yes, we don't expect you to know everything. It's part of your knowledge. You gotta learn from other people first, and then you invent your own stuff. But we need to see where it came from. Yes?
What if you change into like, so it's your words,
Nope.
but yes,
Paraphrasing is still plagiarism, if you don't cite it. If it's their ideas. You've probably had it happen where maybe you came up with a funny joke, right? And then your friend goes and tells another friend, you're like, hey, that's my joke, but they use different words. Shouldn't they have said, yeah, I got this joke from her?
no.
No, I want credit for my joke if I made up that joke.
I want credit.
I mean, I'd want credit for it, I just never had that done.
Oh, alright, but you would want credit. So it's like that. So paraphrasing, you take some, if I say, so, energy equals mass times gravity squared. And so if you want to make an atomic bomb, you need to know about that. And you need to know how to split an atom, because the energy of the atom, if you take the matter and the gravity and you square it, you're going to be able to do that. Do you think I made that up? I didn't even say it well. I did not make that up. Whose idea is that?
Einstein.
That's Einstein's idea. So I need to, even though it's my words, I need to say Einstein came up with that idea, not me. Okay. So, or if I want to say, you know what? We need to have 3 branches of government in the United States. We need to have the legislature, the executive branch, and the court. Not the right word, but anyway. Thank you, judicial. Did I make that up? No, according to Thomas Jefferson and the founding fathers, right? My words, but who said that? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show Hamilton. Oh my God, it's the best. It's on Disney Plus. You should watch it. Or you should, there's a couple of bootleg versions on YouTube. That's pretty fun. Anyway, it's a musical about Hamilton. But he says all the time, Hamilton says, this is from the letter from Aaronburg, or whatever it is. You have to give credit. But the rest of it, that's all modernized language, paraphrase. You still have to cite it. You know? So you want to be careful with that. And that's okay. We being professors in the academic world at large, we want people to use stuff that exists. We want to know where you're getting this stuff from. You're not going to, as they say, reinvent the wheel. Whatever your area of study is, you kind of have to know what's been done already in that area, right? Not every single thing, but you know, kind of an idea. Here's what's been done. Now, what I wanted to do, oh wow, it's already been done. So I can read up on that and here's how it went. Or you say, this thing needs more to be done, and I want to be the one who does some of that. Or I want to take what these guys have done, and I see that there's a need for this other piece, or this other thing, but you can't do it until you're done. Like, why try to, I don't know, invent something that's already been invented, right? If it's already been done and didn't work, don't do it again. That's why you study that stuff. But we need to know where it comes from. Are all sources, are all things that you read equally good? No. How do you know if it's okay? You know, you hear a lot about fake news and stuff that's not reliable. You Google something, how are you supposed to know?
You can find additional citations and see if it supports it.
That's a lot of work, but yeah, you could. How are you gonna do that? Are you thinking Wikipedia?
No, I'm just thinking, like, if you see one thing on a news article, look at a different news article.
Oh,
Do
okay.
they align?
Right, don't just, yeah, don't get into your Google bubble, right? If it's Fox News, don't be looking at Fox News plus all these other conservative sites are. The same thing with, liberal sites too. You gotta have a balance. Somebody has a hand? How can you know? All right, and I have an example in the book. I'm not sure. I think it's chapter 9. I know we're not technically doing chapter 9, but it's gonna help you. Right now, things change so quickly, right? But this is under support your central idea. So this was pre-window. I can't remember when we did this. We did this book. And I screenshot, I typed in legalization of marijuana. And this is on page, I just Googled it on page 68. You see how many results I got? 8,540,000 results in less than a minute. You can Google it now on your phone, see how many you get.
Oh, sure, I never noticed that.
Who wants to look at 8 million articles? You say, well, I would never do that, I'm only gonna look at the first 3 pages. Okay, that's 60, 70 articles, whatever it is. How do you know which ones are good? Which ones come up first?
Which ones are real?
Which ones are real? How do you know if you wanna look at that? Do you know how Google does, search results, by the way? It's got a few algorithms. If every one of you right now, typed in a search thing on your phone or on your computer, would you get the exact same list? No.
No.
How come?
It's tailored to what your interests are.
Yep, you're in a Google bubble, which I can't say. We're in a Google bubble, and you do that, right? You start typing in article in it. You go, hey, that's cool, and you go, hey, that's creepy. That's creepy. Yeah, it's creepy and it's cool. But it's gonna pull up what it thinks you want based on what you searched before. Which sounds kind of like a good idea, but then it's not very objective.
Feedback loops.
And so it's like, how do you get out of that? Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing that comes up first is, now most of them say ad, but companies can pay to have their stuff come up first. That doesn't mean it's the most reliable or the best thing for you. So this is a lot that folks in this time period have to deal with. There's ways to get around this though to make your lives easier. Don't Google everything. By paying tuition or however you get here, part of that money goes to our libraries. They pay for subscription to reliable credible sources, so you don't have to even think about it. You don't have to sift through. Those guys sift through. To be a librarian, you need a PhD. You have to go a lot of school to be a librarian. They know how to do it. They sift through, they figure out what's good and what's not. How do you know if the Washington Post is good? How do you know if the New York Herald is good? New York Times are fine, New York Herald isn't. Like, how do you know? So, a Post, Washington Post, crap, it blows good. You wouldn't know, but the librarians know. And after a while, get it out there. So they do it. So on the next page, on page 69, I did the same search, and I got it down to 987, without even narrowing it. I would have to narrow that, by the way, if I were going to, this is a good topic, if anyone's interested in this, I don't know if you guys are interested. I would have put legalization of marijuana in Rhode Island, or in age limits, or in driving laws, I don't know, narrow it down somewhat. And then you'd only get like 50. But I went from almost 9 million to only 900. That's a pretty good job narrowing it down without putting in any extra phrases. You know, I am, by the way. I'm curious about everything. I'm really curious about this law in Rhode Island that takes effect in December. Marijuana is legal for recreation purposes. What does that mean? There's only going to be this many dispensaries. How much taxes do we get? And who can? I'm curious about all of that. And I'll read about that. But if you wanted to present something like that, you would narrow that down much more.
I only have up to chapter 5.
What do you mean in your book?
That's because you don't, that's because you don't have the book.
Yeah. She said that we was gonna get them though.
She didn't give me anything. I know there's I don't know what she's doing with the online thing. Yeah, she didn't mention any of that to me. So you might want to shoot her an email. Maybe she can send you the copy. So anyway, you want to use the school library. You can do it from your house if you don't want to go upstairs. I always like to go up and just ask them. I'm like, oh, I have to do a thing about whatever. What can we do? And they do that for you. You're like, cool. They can stuff. But you still have to cite